Ronnie Dale, four-wheeling at westernaustralia.com, and welcome to another review. I'm going to review this fire pit right here. Now everyone around camp is still sleeping, so I'm going to make some noise to get them up. So this is a Snow Peak fire pit, and it comes in a couple of pieces. You've got to assemble it yourself each time you use it. Now it's a foldable, collapsible pit, so on the screen you will see how I open it up and set it up. It's pretty simple and it's pretty effective. So it comes in this canvas bag and a nylon bag here. And basically the whole fire pit sits in this bag. I'll put the weight of it on the screen. Now it's quite light considering for what it is. And we'll start from the bottom. First you have this cross piece. Then you have an ash plate, then you have the collapsible pit itself, which you could actually use on the ground if you wanted to. And then you have this grill plate here, and a frame for it to sit on. And it's a step frame, 1, 2, 3, three-step frame. So it goes like so, and then your plate goes on like that. We mainly use it for just having fires in. We don't cook on here that often, but when we do, it's quite enjoyable cooking on the fire. You get everyone around you. The only problem I find with this is once this gets oil on it, it gets dirty, because a lot of the time this ends up on the ground after you've eaten, and you just have your fire. This will be on the ground, this will collect sand, and it is very hard to clean off. So that's one bad point you've got to keep in mind about this actual grill. And it rusts as well, even though it's supposed to be stainless steel. But apart from that, you can clean it up and still use it, and we do still use it occasionally. We do occasionally leave this frame on because we can stack the wood a bit higher. Now in winter, when it's really cold, you don't get much heat off this fire. So that's why we use this frame, so we can stack the wood a bit higher. Now this is a large fire pit as well. So bear in mind, you can only get 6 people around this and get a bit of heat. You don't get as much heat as if it's a ground fire. A couple of things I like about it. One, there's a lot of places you can't have a fire, a ground fire, so you're allowed to use these collapsible pits. So they're kind of becoming a necessity, a bit like a chemical toilet, especially here in Australia. So that's what they're designed for. They're designed for you to have a fire where you're allowed to have an open fire, but you're not allowed to put it on the ground, and then you're not going to scorch the ground everywhere in a campsite. So take for instance over here, this is the fire pits they have at this campgrounds here. This is Parry's Beach campsite, and all these are just full of coals. Like, they're not really maintained. So we got some wood from the caretaker here, and we opted to take our own fire pit out. So there's another good example. Another good example is a place you are allowed to have ground fires, but you want to cook on it, and you don't know what people have been burning in the other campfires. There could be all kinds of stuff in there. It could be plastics, aluminium, all kinds of stuff you don't want to taint your food with. So that is the other reason why we've got this, and probably a really good reason too. And as you can tell here, we had this on last night, and the wood burns out. When it's a ground fire, the ground fire will keep going. Sometimes they'll go out, but they'll keep going. The ground kind of insulates the heat, and it'll just keep burning. The next morning, you'll have to waste a bit of water to put the fire out proper. With this fire pit, it burns out. So if you had some big logs in here, you can stuff them back in your fire bag and use them again. The cool thing about it is, you obviously have the ash plate to catch all the embers and ash that come out, but to empty it, all you have to do is that. If you're worried about all this ash in your bag and it goes back in your wagon, in my case it just goes in the back of ute, so I don't really care. You can get a brush, just brush it out, or you can run some water over it. Easy peasy. So my final points and thoughts on this fire pit it is expensive, but I honestly think it is worth the price. I mean, it is quality steel. I did mention, you know, about the this being a bit of an issue, but if you keep it oiled like you're supposed to, I've been neglecting this a bit because we don't cook on it that often anymore, because we use the Weber Qs, Coleman gas burners and stuff. So it's more of a novelty to cook on it, but as a fire pit, it's pretty good. I rate it. This is a large size. You can get a medium and a small. I don't see how you could use a medium and a small. So as an improvement, if the manufacturer is watching, I reckon you could add a 100mm sleeve on the edges just so you can have a slightly bigger fire. But apart from that, I mean, it's compact, it's flat, it fits in nice and easy. Flat at the bottom of your wagon, flat in the back of the ute. So if you have one of these, please comment down below. I'd like to know your experiences with it as well, and it might help people decide whether they want one or not. And you know, this is probably for the serious camper, the outback tourer, or someone who's doing big expeditions. Bring it with you, open it up, throw your fire in, get a fire going. One thing I didn't mention is, because you're having smaller fires, your bag of wood's going to last longer. We only used a third of a bag last night actually, so they're actually quite efficient that way. So tell us what you think, and if you'd like to support the creation of content like this, you can go to patreon.com/RonnieDahl. Please do subscribe here, and I'll see you in the next video.